Hi, this is Jason with BallistiXPro here, and today we're going to be going over an air pistol by Umarex. This is their Ruger Mark IV lookalike. It is a .177 caliber pellet gun, made in Taiwan, manufactured by Umarex under the license from Sturm Ruger and Company, Inc. So it's a single break, just like this. You pump it once, and then every time you pump this, the safety will turn on. So every single time it gets one pump, the safety's on. You got to turn the safety off, which is kind of annoying, but also probably to help make it a little bit safer. The pellets go inside the brake right here. So each time you load one, you want to put one in there. It is suggested that you do a little lubrication, put a little gun oil, on the different parts, and even a drop inside the barrel to help with everything. So today we're also going to be measuring the velocity. They say this is 320 feet per second when shot. I've seen other people listed as over 500, so we'll see. I doubt that, but yeah, it'd be kind of cool if it was. Let's measure the trigger's pull weight and see what we get here, okay? Just put this up here. It's not loaded. Nope, peeked out again. Oh, safety. That's why I really hate that feature. I wish the safety was just where you stuck it. I mean, yeah, let's just not go there. £5, 10 ounces. And I guessed at 6 pounds. That was a pretty good guess. 5 pounds. That was 5 pounds, 8.7 ounces. Messed up on that one, sorry. And we'll do a third pull here. Switched it over to kilograms. Okay. 6.27, 6 pounds, 2.7 ounces. So it's definitely safe to say that the pull weight on this trigger is about 6 pounds. I'm not sure what they have it listed at, but I have a feeling knowing this company, they probably have it listed at less. Our first test is going to be with the Gammo Red Fire for accuracy. And I'll do another review on these pellets, but there's a few things I don't like about them, and one is the shape. This back part is always it's not exactly perfect every single time. Some of them look bent up. So not really sure what the deal is with those, but we'll see. And then we're gonna also do a test with the Destroyer, recreational destroyer. We do have these daisies. Not sure we'll get an accurate. We can fire some of these and just kind of guess at what the weight is, but they don't list the weight, so it makes it a little bit harder for my Garmin to read it if you do not have the weight of the pellet in there. So we're going to start with the Gammo Red. And we're not going to be shooting at a target. We're just going to actually be shooting for velocity. So I'm only going to do a few shots, and then we will try the next one. And then we will shoot the target and see what the accuracy is like on this as well. So I'm going to aim a little below the target for these. Oh, safety off, okay. 234.4 feet per second. So maybe that's a miss, but we'll see. That's much slower than what it says it can do. We'll just do 3 shots here on each. Safety off. We're not aiming at the target, so we don't care. Shot number 2, 283.9 feet per second. A little bit better, but not quite the velocity that they're saying that you would get from this. Okay. And one more. .248 feet per second on the dot. So average velocity of 255.4 feet per second. That's a little slowish if you ask me, especially considering the fact that it says 320 and some people list it as over 500. I think I seen it at 560. So we're going to do the same thing now with the recreational destroyer. Shot number 1. .282.5 feet per second. Still not what they're saying it should be. There is some gun lube in the barrel as they suggest, so it is not because of that it's going slower. .292.3 feet per second. And 308.3 feet per second. So an average velocity of 294.4 feet per second, much lower than the advertisement says on their website. Let's try these daisies here. We're just going to guess that they're also 7.4 grain, since a lot of pellets are usually around that. And see how these daisies do. .256.8 feet per second. .273.7 feet per second. And finally, the third is going to be at 268.5 feet per second, an average velocity of 280.4 feet per second. So the recreational destroyer is your better ammo if you're going to actually shoot this air pistol, but still, below the velocity that you're going to probably want to have. With that said, let's go to the accuracy test and see what we can get. Yeah, let's start with the daisies and see what we can do. I did dial this in a little bit earlier, so I kind of know what it's going to do. This is from 50 feet out is where we're shooting, and we'll see if we can hit this target from 50 feet with each of these pellets, and we'll also keep track of the velocities. That didn't even look like it hit the target, or maybe it did in the lower left there. Hard for me to tell. 230.3 feet per second with that daisy. And then I did honestly have a lot of trouble dialing this in. This gun is really not meant to shoot at 50 feet. Since I've already done it once. That's 2 shots with the Daisy. 224.5. It went even slower that time. Weesh. 231.1. I'm not even seeing it hit the target, really. It seems like it's low or something. $261.8. 265. Okay, let's switch over and do some of the Camo Reds. They look a little more like Camo Orange, but we'll see how these do. Maybe I'll aim a little higher. Still don't even see it on there. And I had this dialed, I swear I had this dialed in. It was hitting the target, and that was just yesterday and prepped for this video, and now it's not, doesn't even look like it's hitting the target. That's really pathetic, actually. I honestly can't even tell where it's hitting. Let's try one of these recreational destroyers. This is our fastest ammo. Maybe it'll have a better shot. Even with me aiming high on that one, it's just, I mean, I saw it. This kind of looks like it's at the very bottom edge. Let's see if I aim even a little higher. Alright. We'll call that good enough to dial in a few shots here with the recreational destroyer. Did that just go that low? Wow. I am not sure what happened there. That is a big time flyer. But that was definitely not me. I was aimed at the right spot. Maybe I put that thing in backwards. Who knows? But that was something. Let's do a couple more here. 2 more, and then we'll call it good with the recreational destroyer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up to about 10 meters, which is roughly 32.8 feet, but it's a competition distance. And I just want to see you know, what this would be like from that distance. I'm not saying that this is a competition gun. I like shooting personally further back at 50 feet, especially when I'm testing things, because I want to know that they are in fact worthy of taking to the range, or using in a competition, because I do like to compete. So I'll go take a measurement of this real quick, and we'll see what we've got. I'll just write down the previous one that we did with the destroyer. We'll keep those as our chosen boy for right now, since they seem to work quite well. So I got my target, measured it. We're looking at a grouping of about 2.5 inches by 2 inches. So 2.5 high by 2 wide. Or I said it backwards, 2.2 inches wide by 2.5 inches tall. So I'm just measuring from this to this and this to this. Since these were our best shots, I'm not really counting this one that went down here, or maybe these two went down here, I don't know, but we're going to count those as kind of flyerish. But still, even if you did include those, I mean, that's probably going to add another 2 inches right there. So that'd be like 5 inches high. And with how the velocity fluctuates on these, I mean, I wouldn't almost doubt it. I mean, you have a minimum velocity of 222.6 feet per second, a maximum velocity of 309.2 feet per second, and an average velocity of 274.6 feet per second. So a very, very inconsistent on the brake barrel design for this particular gun. I'm going to turn the cameras off here. We're going to move up to 32.8 feet or 10 meters, which is a good competition distance, and set this up again and do it one more time just for the heck of it. Okay, so we are ready for round 2 here. We're set up here at 10 meters, 32.8 feet, and we're going to see what we can accomplish with this air pistol. I've got it measured center on for right now for our first shot. See where that goes. As long as it's on that target, we don't care. I just want to measure and see where the grouping looks like after we're done. (306.7 feet per second). Ooh, that is not good. Yeah, that's 10 shots. I say we just call that a day. Not looking good. Here's our target. We're about 5 inches top to bottom and about 2 2 3/4 left to right. I can indefinitely say this is a horrible air pistol. I mean, you're going to pay about $60 for this, and that's including tax and probably shipping. Ruger, you should take your name off of this. Your guns are so much more accurate. Umarex, learn to make an air pistol. I mean, this thing is just horrible. I've tried using it several times at even closer distances, and this thing is just bad. The biggest thing with it is it does not have consistent velocity. Our last shot grouping had a minimum velocity of 242.6 feet per second, a max velocity of 306.7 feet per second, and an average velocity of 281.4 feet per second. But any of you out there looking to buy an air pistol, velocity does matter to a point, but the magic number that you're really looking for, and I've tested this on a few different air rifles, air pistols, is 400 feet per second. 400 feet per second is where the gun's going to really start getting accurate, and you also want to make sure that it can hold that consistency of 400 feet per second or a little higher. It's fine if it's up and down, 400 to 450, but when you're down this low in velocity, 50 feet per second is going to make a huge difference. When you're up to 400 and you're over 400, it's not going to make very much of a difference at all. And I know that sounds weird to some of you. Check out my other video, how many pumps does it take to blow up the center of a Tootsie Pop, and you'll see exactly that. I mean, I was dead on with almost every single shot right after 400 feet per second. A very, very accurate air rifle, and I didn't have any problems at 50 feet at all. Not very happy with this purchase. Wish I could send it back. But, maybe I'll just play with it from time to time. I don't know, but maybe I'll just frame it. Who knows? Or resell it. But if I resell it to somebody, I think that's kind of like almost like rude, because you're selling something that is kind of crap. Yeah, so probably not going to do that. Again, this is Jason with BallistiXPro. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do yourself a favor. If you see this gun and it says it's awesome on Google, don't believe it. Do yourself a favor and buy something a little bit better. I would probably say maybe one of the Gamos. If you're going on the less expensive end, their air rifle that I've got is fantastic. You'll see a video review on that sometime soon. Thank you again, and have a great weekend.